Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Nap Gen Ed, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Lisa Fernandez, and
I will crush you because I'm Crystal Wardener. Hello.
we will also break you. We are about to review Rocky Ragu, written by Albert Goodman and directed by Tom Trippovich. One of the many episodes Tom Trippovich directed in this season. Chris probably has some facts coming up about them later on.
About one of them, anyway.
Oh yeah, it's poor Tom Trippovich, the most obscure director in Laverne and Shirley history. One day we'll find more about him. Here's what the episode is about. Carmine has one too many negative encounters while making his rounds as a singing telegram. When he hears that Rhonda has successfully auditioned for a spot in a movie about boxing champ Rocky Manicotti, he decides to go out for the film, only telling Rhonda and Shirley about it, as he doesn't want to swing and miss. While this leads to Laverne thinking he's cheating on Shirley, Carmine's chances seem good. Between the machinations of Lenny and Squiggy, who are representing Carmine at the audition through Squignowski, and his ability to act, sing, and dance. When another man who's a better physical match for the role enters into the audition, will Carmine win the day? What do you think about this one?
I did not expect to like this one as much as I did. I was expecting something far dumber, and it's a pretty silly episode, but this one kind of clicks in good ways. What I also really like is that I still hate Date with a Racerhead. I'm always gonna hate Date with a Racerhead, but this does the Date with a Racerhead setup as a joke and makes it really work with the whole Laverne thinking that he's cheating on Shirley, slapping him, and it somehow like it sort of implies that Laverne and Shirley have been so busy that they're not hanging around each other enough that Shirley knows it's just for the role, so there's no misunderstanding, and Laverne never gets corrected even up to the end.
Amazingly, she never finds out that all the way through, he's even at the audition. He and Rhonda are at the audition in their boxing outfits, singing for this dude, and they're comforting each other after they've both had their dreams dashed, and she still thinks they're doing it in public in this audition.
Yep.
That's pretty much how you should do a plot like this. It's a very brief part of the episode, too.
Exactly.
I think the fact that Carmine and Shirley are very rock solid in this episode also helps anchor it and anchor what happens well enough to make it inoffensive.
Exactly.
And this one makes it good.
I mean, there's a great, because that's the thing is their intimacy between Shirley and Carmine here is strong enough that, again, like my note, let me go down here. There it is. Why are these two not married yet?
Yeah. Season 7, their relationship is at the best point it has ever been.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's when they should have just pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
When season 8 happens, we'll have that conversation. But, this is when they should have just pulled the trigger and said yes to the idea.
Yep.
And, because they actually are good for each other at this point. They've stopped being hindrances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are helps, not hindrances. Because, I mean, there is a level of support that she's able to give to him that is really important. And, there's my note here. There's that actual real talk that they, that sort of that real discussion, that heart to heart that they have about, you're trying to screw yourself over, so that you don't, because then you say, oh, I never had my shot, and because you're afraid of failing. And even though he uses an answer from the script to respond to that, it also kind of shows that this experience has developed him, has grown him. This is a memorable thing that he is going to do. He's really going to take a shot at it. And the resolution is even that it didn't even matter. Neither one of them get the gig because the studio pulls out at the, before they can even finish the audition.
Yeah. In the end, it's fate that screws him over, but he tries. Ultimately, he tries, and that's important. Because before this, Carmine just, he wasn't trying. He was making excuses. This is actually a great continuation from what was established in To Tell the Truth.
Exactly.
Because we're actually taking a plot point and building on it where Carmine's saying, enough of this, I'm going to go try and make my career happen. And here he goes.
Yep.
Even though he's scared to death, he's going.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to make it a reality. Good for him.
Although I do have sympathy for him that the fact that they've still flanderized Shirley enough that she won't even go up for a quick snuggle. Like my note about, because it's where it's like, maybe we could rest together because that way you keep an eye on me. And and my note here for that is when she says, no, you should go home. I'll distract you. And Snuggle him, Shirley, you coward.
And yet in a couple episodes they will make out and he will literally be lying on top of her. So this way it makes no sense.
I mean, that's I mean, I mean, it is very we'll get there. But anyway, so I also loved Rhonda in this one. Rhonda was really likable. She was sincere. She was professional.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. She's actually caring. She cares about her friends here. That has slowly become a character trait of her right around the middle of season 6, and it's become more prominent in season 7, where she's actually become attached to these people. She actually cares about them and wants them to succeed, and likes hanging around with them, willingly hangs around with them without favors being involved.
Yep.
So, and here is where her character really grows and really takes a step upward, because she's finally, she was rooting just as much for herself as for Carmine. The two of them take comfort in each other. And it's really nice.
Yeah. It feels like a healthy growth, which is something this show really needs at this point, because it's season 7's been good. It's been pretty solid. It's been pretty consistent. But these pieces of depth, I mean, we already talked about this at the beginning of the season 7, was that it begins to establish very quickly that this is the characters growing up, and I really see what you mean now that I've gotten to this point where everyone's kind of getting that moment, and by the end of an episode, it feels like, okay, this is growing up.
Yeah, a lot of season 7 is about them growing up. A lot of season 7 is about everybody going, oh yeah, I'm not a kid anymore. This is the moment, and this is the season where they look at each other and go, I'm almost 30. I have moved all the way across the country with my friends. I've made this huge change. The world around me is transforming. What the heck am I going to do the rest of my life? Am I going to be married like I dreamed about when I was in my 20s? Am I going to pursue a career? Is my career worth pursuing? Should I change my idea of what my best friend is and what my best friend does and what we do for each other? It's beautiful that way, the season is. It's all about everyone coming to maturity and healing old wounds, parental wounds, especially with Lenny and Squiggy.
Oh, yeah.
The boys end up healing some old wounds that were dealt to them by their parents. And they start to mature more. Squignowski thrives. They become responsible agents to a degree, even though here they're kind of responsible and yet not here. When it comes to Carmine's career.
Yeah, it's a very we'll get to that in detail in a bit, but the stab techniques are interesting because different eras of low budget filmmaking, especially this sort of drive-in B-movie sort of style. This is not a major motion picture, as Rhonda, is saying, because, if they were able to, pull the backing this fast and this suddenly, I mean, this is not, this is the time when, there were a lot of drive-in flicks. There are stories about stuff like this.
One of my favorite moments, besides, Squiggy does go to all these lengths to kind of get Carmine, get his guy at the front of the heat. He does do really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, he shoves Carmine out of the way to try to get to the other boxer to try and sign him when it seems like he's going to get picked. That's
the case with an agency, is that they're looking out for number one just as much as you are.
Yeah. It's not even like it's survival of the fittest. I can't blame Squig really for trying to survival of the fittest himself through this, but He's being him to a degree, and he's his best self and his worst self in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But he does what he can for Carmine. It's nobody's fault that everything just tumbles down to the ravine, so to speak.
Exactly.
So Laverne and Carmine here, they kind of have old married couple fighting going on, or sibling fighting going on, even though she's flirting with him and teasing him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. It's that is exactly my note. Is that it's innuendo, but it's not a. Necessarily, it's a playful chemistry, but not necessarily a sexual chemistry.
Yeah, I won't like it. Take off your pants.
Yeah.
How does Carmine not know how to sew for himself by now?
That's a good point, especially because you would figure Shirley probably would have taught him, and because I'm sorry, just the mental image of that just became suddenly very cute in my mind. Is him on the couch and she's teaching him how to sew. It's very adorable. But
yeah, I can see her doing that.
But also, correct though, because if he has to maintain his uniform for the telegram service, you got to learn how to do this, because you can't always rely on getting this to somebody else to be helped. You can't always rely on other people. And this sort of when you're doing the hustle.
Yeah, you have to put you first in a way when it comes to this stuff, because otherwise everybody's just gonna say, well, you can take care of that yourself. You can do your own self by yourself. I don't need to take care of you in the hole in your pants. Of course, Laverne sewing an L onto his butt is so great.
Yeah, my mother got a big laugh out of it and said she goes, "Oh no, she put an L on his ass. She branded him."
The second man in this canon that she has branded just to put an L on the guy's butt. On his back or his butt.
It is cute.
Oh my goodness. Is that better than having somebody hickey their initials on your neck? The world may never know.
Hey, listen, I'm practicing, okay?
Carmine has to sing happy birthday to a pack of Irish setters here.
Yes.
That's something. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Yeah, Irish setters are they seem very cute dogs, but also the kind that, oh yeah, if they get a little overexcited and bite the wrong area, that ain't gonna be good. No, so nice there.
Right on the tuchus. Carmine basically he's wearing a skirt, but it looks like a kilt. At least the skirt looks enough like a kilt to come off as a kilt, so to speak.
And that's my note in all caps. Oh my God, Carmine can pull off the kilt look. It is good. I like it.
Yeah. Rocky Manicotti here is pretty clearly Rocky Marciano. Local hero to me. He grew up in Brockton, Mass. Big boxer during the 50s and 40s, I think. Retired, died in a plane crash, but he was well known and appreciated, so to speak. So you can kind of see, even in his look, they were kind of going for a Marciano reference.
Definitely.
With Mr. Manicotti. This is obviously reference to a combination of Rocky and Raging Bull. This whole boxing movie that is somehow one part musical, one part drama, one part sports movie, and definitely serious, which makes it extra funny.
Which is, I also like, because that is very emblematic of or I should say rather accurate to the types of movies the mid-60s, just before the late 60s system was still trying to churn out. When you think about it, because that was the thing, was that the musical was dying. Well, at the very least, the scale of the musical was starting to go away, and people had gotten really tired of the Hollywood product, and so they were. So that being said, there were filmmakers and producers and studios that were putting together these it's like, well, we got to make a picture that sells. What sells? Oh, well, this type of picture sells, and it's like that hasn't been a popular picture in 15, 20 years, dude.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. The only thing that might have saved his life story was making it something like somebody up there likes me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe. Or he just makes it more serious like Raging Bull.
Right.
Or he makes it a full-on comedy. Or he makes it a real tearjerker like The Champ. So they did have a remake of The Champ around that time. In the 70s. In the 70s, not in the 60s. In the 60s... New Hollywood, like you said, was coming in, starting to become a thing, and the production code was starting to fall away. Mm-hmm. So, as you said, the kind of movie he's trying to make, there's probably no audience for it ever. This generation, we did have successful musicals, heading into the 70s, like with Cabaret. Mm-hmm. They had to be Tommy.
But that's after the new wave of Hollywood began. That's the distinction. True. I'm thinking more along the lines of like how Hello Dolly wasn't was not like a catastrophic flop, but it also wasn't setting the world on fire,
Yeah. Hello Dolly, Star.
Yep.
All those movies that came out around that time just went nope. Name.
Yep.
Just went. People were kind of done with the musical for a while, and then it kind of popped back up. Ironically, after the baby boomers got a little bit older, we got Hair, we got Tommy, blah 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 blah. Yeah, he's making a movie for nobody basically, but for his own ego.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it funny. That's what makes it even funnier than this.
And especially when you meet the guy and you end up realizing that despite him telling this rather fabricated fictional story, he has a lot of heart and earnestness to his personality.
Yeah. He actually wants to make a good movie.
Exactly.
Even though he's kind of bewildered by the whole Hollywood process. But yeah. The line, that's what they used to say about Rhonda. Then my knees went. Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah. Referring to for context, the line, he was so fast he could turn the light off and be in bed before the room got dark.
Yep. Then my knees went. Sis, Rhonda, like you said, is incredibly great in this episode.
Yeah.
If you don't like Rhonda, watch this episode. You'll come to like Rhonda. Here we find out she is struggling just as much as they are. That's another reason why she's hanging out with these people.
Yeah.
She has not made anything close to a big break. She probably has been in a lot of driving movies, B movies. So she's looking for a way in, just like everybody else is, and it seems like she's finally made her own dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she light bulbs that maybe, she can help Carmine and get this picture on the road, and both her career can go and his career can go. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, but in a kinder way, because this is also his dream coming true.
Yep. Like now I'm imagining, like, projecting into the future, seeing Rhonda becoming this actor that doesn't quite, make it the way she should. Maybe she gets maybe like she flies to England or to Italy or something to make like some good Euro horror or Euro trash kind of picture. But what if in the 70s when everything changes and it becomes like you can make your own movie and people are wanting real, and she ends up making a realistic avant-garde yet still goofy and camp, like the weird marriage between like Barbara Loden, John Cassavetes, and say John Waters, Ken Russell.
I can see that. My suggestion was that she finally makes it big in the 1980s with VHS exploitation.
Yeah,
she kind of becomes like a Julie Strain / Quigley.
Or I was also thinking Sybil Danning as well.
Sybil Danning, yeah, that's where I think her big break would come. And she'd be doing all the hot MILF roles at 40.
Right, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, that's right. What are we thinking? She'd be the proto-Shannon Tweed.
Yeah, yes, she would be. She'd be doing all that stuff, and she'd be on cable television all the time.
Exactly.
And I'm picturing the boys channel surfing one night, and there's Rhonda on the screen doing a Showtime slasher, going, I knew that woman. I didn't know her boobs, but I knew that woman.
That being said, with Rhonda, she does mention the sleazy restaurant. Cowboy Bills will be perfect to fill in for it. Oh, Papa's gonna hate you for that, Rhonda. Oh no.
Somehow Frank heard that, and then he just started to yell and get really apoplectic, and the staff doesn't know why. It is genuinely cute how much she cares, as we addressed, but Rhonda actually says this. She insults Cowboy Bills. They go to Cowboy Bills. Watch Mary the waitress in the background during this scene. She's great. She's hilarious. You can pretend you want Rhonda, can you? I'll force myself. Make her feel your desire. And of course, Laverne immediately takes us the wrong way. She has the right to take us the wrong way, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he literally has, he has gigoloed more actively before.
I did find it amusing. This is not to get too not safe for work here, but there was a bit of an outline, very visible when they get to that low shot. I pointed that out to you when we were watching the episode.
Yes, you did. All I can say is that Eddie Mecca's first wife was a blonde, and then I'll leave it there.
But yeah, and but I will say, with regarding the Laverne moment, the line, I love that line. Yeah. I want to use this anytime anybody I ever know is like doing. If I ever find out about infidelity among someone I know, will this be all, or do you want another side dish? That.
Boom.
I just, yeah, that is good, and just poof, onion rings right on the junk.
Yep, right on the junk. This is a perfectly good waste of onion rings, as Squiggy would say.
Yes.
Carmine is pretty much yelling his lines woodenly, like Frank, which made me laugh.
It's very cute that he's a bad actor. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I know. We've seen him act before, though. It's like, he's not that stiff usually.
Yeah, the whole Mr. Big thing from Frank's Fling season 2 is way better.
Yeah. His various appearances in stage plays they've done, like even Child's Play, he's not that stiff.
Oh, totally, yeah. No, he's great.
So I don't know why this became the directed style of stiffness, as if he has never done stage work. Rhonda has to go fluff.
She's gonna splash some water in her face. She's fine. She'll be okay.
Yeah, fluffing. Total fluffing. The hello line here is a punch drunk, washed up palooka.
Hello. Yeah, that's good. And of course, Squig and Lenny want to manage anybody within their circle that gets a chance at stardom.
Yep, because that's a good meal ticket.
Exactly. And I love how Squiggy phrases it as, what if I told you that I could get you an audition for the Rocky Manicotti, sorry. And it's like, I say I don't need it. It's an open audition.
Yep.
And I love it. Lenny's out there putting the name out on the street, and it's, oh my God. And of course, it's just on the one
corner of 3rd and La Brea.
Exactly. It's like one street. That's all, the street.
Yep. But it's an important street. It's on La Brea.
It's true.
You see the Turpits again.
Well, he had good luck last time.
Yep. I love Squiggy trying to get rid of Rhonda here. In a word, please do. And then she's smart for a pretty girl.
Oh, man.
It's so vicious.
And then that, don't put yourself down, you're not worth it.
Yeah. Beautiful David lines, beautifully delivered. Beautifully handled, beautifully written. All A++.
I mean, I love Squig and Lenny. I love Lenny and Squiggy in most of these episodes to begin with. It's kind of rare I don't like them. And David has just been knocking it out of the park since season 5.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, episode after episode.
But what I actually do enjoy here is I find that he is present, but not upstaging anybody.
Yeah.
He's a good supporting character here.
Yes. He does that Squiggy thing where he is calm and present and sly, and he just quietly steals the scene just by being there.
And then kind of puts it back before you notice it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very deft. Deft is the way I would describe David in the season.
Mm-hmm. And this episode in particular. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so then we actually get to the boxing gym / production studio of the production office for the movie, and we get our first of the 3 guest actors for this episode. We get so Lisa, my dear, you're the big fan. Do you want to take over from here?
This is Julie Brown, y'all. Julie Brown kind of got her breakthrough via Happy Days. She was in Bloody Birthday at this point, and had appeared in a variety of smaller roles. She appeared in The Incredible Shrinking Woman in 1981 after Lily Tomlin saw her in a comedy club.
Oh, that's awesome. And also, I am sad to say I've actually not I've not watched all of The Incredible Shrinking Woman. I watched like the first half of it when I was having trouble sleeping when I was a kid. I loved it, and then I never finished it.
It's a fun movie. That led to her cutting Goddess in Progress, which is her first EP, and has stuff like "Cause I'm a Blonde," yeah, on it, and "Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun," and that brought the attention of Dr. Demento, and he put her on the radio, and buzz built around her. "Trapped in the Body of a White Girl" happened with "I Like 'Em Big and Stupid" on it, and that led to Just Say Julie, and Just Say Julie made her an icon of the 80s.
Absolutely.
And that led to Earth Girls Are Easy.
Which, before we move on from Earth Girls Are Easy, I love that she also wrote it. She, at the very least, was one of the main writers on that script. Very cool.
Yep. And she produced it.
Yep.
Yeah. That was very much her project, had her music in it. A studio encouraged certain cuts. There are a lot of musical numbers and different scenes that are going to be restored on the Blu-ray cut were on the that's coming up soon. The 4K cut that they remastered. Yeah.
Nice.
But we will all get to see those eventually. Then she got an NBC pilot, didn't work out. That led to a Fox pilot that didn't work. She had a big variety of different. She went from basically network to network trying to launch a series. It eventually ended up in 1992 where she made The Edge. She was part of the Ensemble, which is a sketch comedy show. It only lasted a season. And then she did Attack of the 5'2" Women for Showtime, which is a TV movie, satire, Tonya Harding and Lorena Bobbitt. It has not aged well. It was a staple of my adolescence, but man, it hasn't aged well. She was the original voice of Zatanna in Batman the Animated Series.
I noticed that. And as well, I noticed that she worked on the Clueless TV show as well.
Yeah, she did. She was definitely in that one. She was Coach Millie Stoger in it.
Oh.
For those who don't remember her.
Nice.
And she's also in the film. She voiced Julie Bruin in Tiny Toon Adventures. In case you're wondering, that really is her doing that voice.
That's so cute. God, they had so many wonderful cameos and very subtle cameos in Tiny Toons.
Yeah. Michael has multiple roles in Tiny Toons, multiple roles in Animaniacs. I always consider that a high water mark. Depends on how good the show is. Always doing a voice role. Okay, it's good.
Yes.
After that, she was in Strip Mall for Comedy Central for 2 seasons. So you may remember. Michael was briefly in that too. He was a Psychovivor announcer in 2 episodes. Eventually, in 2005, Julie bought back the rights to her 2 EPs. She re-released them privately. She released DVD copies of Just Say Julie Brown, which you can buy, I think, through her official website. You can buy all this stuff still through her official website. Go support her. She was in Camp Rock in 2008, and she was in the middle as Paula Norwood, and then she's been writing on various sitcoms like Melissa and Joey, and she's appeared in all kinds of different little things. She's still going. She's still on Twitter. She's awesome. I love Julie Brown. She's like one of my favorites. So.
And this, folks, is why I knew it was like just Lisa's gonna have the passion for it. Let her, just you got this, hon. You did good.
Yep.
She is adorable as the secretary in this episode. She is one of the absolute highlights for me. She has a very Judy Holliday sort of tone in this.
Yeah.
Which is very I love Judy Holliday. She's one of my absolute favorite actors from her era. So there's a goofy fun and self-awareness to the comedy and the way that she portrays it. Like she knows the role that she's meant to play, and so she's going for it rather than it feeling like the show or the story or whatever is making her stupid for the sake of being mean to her, in a sense, or putting her down. It's like like Squiggy's whole thing of like is making her think that the car the boss's car is about to get destroyed, and she's like, oh, it was my job to put the brake on, and then she runs outside.
Such a great line.
It's the kind of thing that like comes off as like you're very sincere.
Yeah. And the show ultimately rewards her in the end by pulling her out of Rocky's grasp here, so to speak, Mister. Pulling her out of Rocky's grasp and rewarding her with the hunky dumb boxer guy.
Yeah, I mean he's an ex-convict, but
Yeah, he's a convict. Yeah, they can't all be winners. Anyway, she is so great in this role. It's very like Brooklyn gum chompy fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he literally just goes in this guy's office, pours ketchup on his head, then staggers out.
It's such a great move, yeah, and it freaks the whole group out. And I was just trying out for the part of the referee. It's a small part, a small but important part. Oh God. The crowd of actors that are there to audition and they run off. Did you notice a familiar face in there? Because I found him in the second viewing.
I did not.
Mark Sotkin's in there. He's got a beard, bigger hair, and a brown leather jacket, but I'm pretty damn sure that's him.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Okay. Hi, Mark. That was great.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, I mean,
oh, hi, Mark.
I love that he looks almost like a wannabe Serpico,
Yeah, which is probably the intentional look they were going for with that. I love that everybody says Lenny should go for it. There's 2 votes for me. Want your punch in the face? Not. Take it up to Carmine. He's smart enough to know. He's trying like heck to kind of guide everything from the sidelines here.
Oh, that's great.
He even sweats good, Carmine does.
Mm-hmm.
Only good. The extremely flat "oh babies" kill me.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, Manicotti doing the Lucinda thing is I love it. It's oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. And I do love also how then you see Carmine, his performance gets better, and he has a lot of heart. He's actually getting into like, okay, I'm gonna let go of my ego. I'm gonna let go of my fear of my latent homophobia. Thanks to the era I come from, and I am gonna make this guy believe that I'm in love. And it's like yes, and then it starts to work. It starts to connect. I want to mention Rick Mancini, who plays Rocky Manicotti. Now, he's another TV and exploitation movie working actor from the 70s. He's in Across 110th Street. He's in The Gambler.
Wow.
Mary Hartman, episode of Police Story, episode of Bob Newhart, Kojak, etc. After this, he would stick to TV for a while. Remington Steele, Give Me a Break, Private Benjamin, occasional movies like Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning.
Oh, man, cool.
He's it looks like he's one of the cops in Ghostbusters. So if so that's another thing. He is another guy who ended up on an episode of Quantum Leap. He's also in Ed Wood, Tim Burton's Ed Wood.
Oh.
And even got to be in an episode of The Bold and the Beautiful in 2002. Now, he did he passed away in 2006, but he was 73. It was a good run for that sort of thing. So good on you, Rick. And
indeed. Wow.
I will say, though, out of all the things I do recognize him from, this is my favorite performance of his easily. He gets so much to do here. He's really funny.
He does, yeah. He has a great job having fun with what he's been given here. And he is pretty much just knocking out of the park. And just, just taking this character and making him as both caring about his reputation and lackadaisical and vaguely sleazy. And it's a hard balance to pull off, but he does it.
He reminds me of almost like a John Goodman movie producer character, where he's you're gonna probably get hurt, but he'll be the first one. Like if you get hurt on his movie, he won't be like, it's like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done that. But he will be the guy who drives you to the hospital. He'll drop everything and make sure you go get checked up.
Hey, you okay? Don't tell nobody nothing.
Exactly. He's gonna ask. He's going to ask if you're okay, and then make sure you're not going to talk.
Yeah, pretty much as is going on. I love the scene that comes up next. This is one of the most mature Carmine and Shirley scenes that we get in the show.
Yes.
It's really nice. I love it. She calls him out on his cowardice, and he admits he's cowardly. Now the Queen Mary's at the dock, and I'm afraid to get on board. Page 86 of the script.
Exactly.
And she's being so incredibly supportive here and caring, and does her mother handing him and shoving him. And he's also like, can I do this? Can I really do this? She's like, of course you can do this. And she knows he can do this, and it's really great.
Yep, the best ragu there is.
Yeah, the best ragu there is. So cute.
I do have a question, by the way. Page 86 of the script. How the hell do they have access to those sides in that screenplay? My guess is it's either Rhonda has access to the full thing because she's already been cast, or the boys stole a copy on the way out of the building.
Yeah, my guess is that the boys actually did steal it. This guy is so inexperienced, though. It's quite possible he gave them the whole script. Just Xeroxed the whole script and gave it to everybody who's auditioning. So
because I will say, this is not obviously in the time when people were worried about, oh, you're going to steal the idea, copyright and all that sort of stuff. They weren't as worried about that back in the 60s, but it's still a bit of a weird, it's just not how it's done to come off like a snob. We just don't do that. See, if I cast an actor, I have casted actors even before giving them NDAs and giving them full scripts to even feature film type projects. But there's a certain degree of trust that kind of happens, but if you know that person. But anyway, that just kind of threw me for a little bit. It's like, that's not it definitely should, like I was saying before, I mean, this is definitely like a low budget sort of production, so it definitely feels in that vein. So you're right. It could just be, he felt like, kid, you're really, really close. I want to see how much you can do with this role. Here's the whole script so you get the context, and here you go. I mean, it's totally possible, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, my opinion is that it's just that he's just that inept. That's my biggest guess here. He's just this inept. He's just, screw it, here's the whole script, is my only guess, because otherwise they wouldn't have access to the whole thing. Unless, all these lines are Rocky lines, so he would have access to those parts, those sides. It's possible that they excerpted just the Rocky parts and then gave it all to him, just like Rhonda has all the Lucille parts.
Yeah, it's a case of...
Lucinda.
Yeah, the Lucinda stuff. Yeah, it's
correct.
It's possible, but yeah, just you just don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'm going to stop harping on it because I don't want to get too distracted, because this is me splitting hairs and being pedantic about, the realism of something that A, is an official world, and B, it really is, when you're doing low budget film, it's a case by case basis. Some people just decide, screw it, I'm just going to give them the whole thing. I've had it. I've had people, try to get me as a cinematographer, and they give me the whole damn thing. So,
Yeah, it's one of those things that depends on the professionalism of the people in charge, basically.
Exactly.
That's my only guess. Shirley and Carmine are adorable. I love that when she leaves, he quotes the script up at her. Shirley Feeney, you are the only woman I think of from sunset to dawn. It's so cute. It
is very cute.
And of course, Laverne thinks he's bullshitting, and he's not bullshitting.
Yeah, and slap. Yep. So then we get to the big bout with the interloper, the big dude.
Yes.
And so I will have to say this: really good jiggle physics on his character model as he walks through the room.
There you go. That's all you can ask for.
So this is the guy I was excited to talk about for this episode. So that's Tom Longo as Tank Malone. Which, first of all, Tank Malone, that is a new D&D name for me.
Yay.
This is an early, nigh unrecognizable performance for him, in my opinion, because he is a consistent that guy character actor in a bunch of movies through the 80s, 90s, and even some of the 2000s. He pops up in Splash, 16 Candles, Helltown, Suburban Commando, Eraser. He's one of the Goomba, guys in Eraser. Last Boy Scout. He's even in Mulholland Drive. So this actor, this is really cool. Again, like to see him at this younger age, and so it's one of those, when you see this guy's face, like what he looks like in the 80s and 90s, you're going to, most of even the people who listen to this podcast are going to be able to go, I remember that guy. And then, in the 2000s and 2010 or so, he did some short films. He wrote, directed, starred, and even shot a couple of them. It was like he was trying to give himself kind of a boost to his career. As the whole DIY filmmaker, thing was going on. He sadly passed away at the age of 53 in 2015.
Aww.
So it would have been nice to have seen him continue on, but Tom Longo, Tank Malone, this dude had comedic chops through this entire scene. And he was just good in general through a lot of his movies he's in. But oh my gosh, his timing with Eddie, these two guys had chemistry.
Yeah, it's fun. He's really, 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 really great at playing the monosyllabic meathead here.
Yes, it is so much so. Yeah, I mean, like the Squiggy saying to him, take a dive, you get a free lunch. He goes, I'm not hungry. Because that delivery is a bit dumb, but more aggression. Like him, and it adds this level of stay away from me, punk, or I'm gonna, beat your teeth in.
Yeah, it's really great. It's great the way they managed to make him both menacing and hilarious.
Exactly.
At the exact same time. It's really, really super cool.
Yep.
The fact that they both simultaneously deliver these lines between punches is really fun, too.
And with the same monotone is perfect.
Yeah, the exact same monotone. There's a lot of really, really, really... Don't worry, Lucinda, he's dead meat.
Oh, God, yeah. And the squigisms and the bits from Lenny, like Lenny's, hit him with your hand, not your face.
Yes. Okay, the fact that they rounded up 3 people, but 2 of the girls got arrested before they could begin.
Yeah,
wow.
Yep, that's a nice one. They snuck by the censors.
Yep, Lenny managed to pick up some hookers.
Yep.
You did notice that when our secretary emerges with Rocky, she starts straightening out her skirt and fixing her hair. The implication is that they are making out and/or banging.
Yes. Yeah, there was clearly a secretary boss situation there.
Yep. There was something dirty afoot. I don't know what, but something.
I was going to say also Julie's line of delivery, ooh, I love violence, is...
That's my favorite line from her. She's so genuinely excited, and it feels like something that would both come out of Julie Brown's mouth and the characters. So
I need to GIF that. I'm gonna make an animated GIF of that.
Please do. Squiggy here is wearing a mob cap, much like David did throughout the 70s. David was always wearing a hat like that, and for once, Squiggy's wearing it, which is really interesting to me.
That reminds me actually that my my mother made me laugh out loud when she responded to this. She looks at Squiggy's clothing and then she goes, "Oh my God, Squiggy's dressed normal. That's weird."
Yeah. Everybody's wardrobes change up a lot. His clothing definitely changes up once we get season 7. The boys' wardrobes definitely change, and they both kind of look more normal in general. I feel like Lenny's wearing a lot of more cast-off shirts.
Yeah, that
in a way.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, it very, 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 very much looks like the kind of stuff that Robin Williams used to wear on Mork and Mindy. So, there's a lot of funny lines here. Lenny's saying his chest is naturally bald.
Yes.
Take a dive and you get free lunch.
Yep. What did you eat? The furniture? Yep.
Yeah.
Don't use your throats to sing until I tell you.
You sound like a spaghetti sauce. So much good stuff in this episode. The dialogue is so great.
And I will say, as for a boxing scene, the choreography is actually pretty good overall. It's well staged. It's well choreographed.
Yeah.
And they have a post Raging Bull POV shot, and they actually have a genuine slow motion shot.
Yes, they do. They do. There's a lot of really, really nice direction here going on. Trubovich really kind of takes a level here and gets a lot more experience under his belt.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the different moving parts here. Like Lenny desperately trying to get Carmine to do what he needs to do, but he ends up being a hindrance. Squig being full on flim flam man here. Rhonda delivering her whole lines with real good passion. She's trying hard.
Oh yeah.
And then we get a phone call from the studio, and the studio's moving on. I guess from the way he's reacting, either he doesn't need the money and doesn't care, or he's going to cut it at Joe Lewis production budget
The other thing is, if the studio that he's working with bought the rights to his story, he's probably already been paid. And if he wrote the script himself, he's probably already been paid.
Probably over. There you go.
So that's kind of, because that's the thing about developing projects in Hollywood, is that it's an expensive process. I mean, you've heard that how Jodorowsky's Dune had basically put the studio like $12 million in the hole without a single frame of the film being shot.
Yeah, because of the budgeting. Hollywood is a beast that way. It is a beast that way.
Yep.
The audience is so disappointed for Carmine audibly. This is a very loud audience over these past, of these 3 upcoming episodes. The audience is very loud.
They are. There are some episodes that are definitely they're using a lot of canned laugh tracks. I think the next one in particular. Yeah. But oh no, sorry, not the next one. Sorry, there's one we watched that had a lot of canned laugh tracks. The next 2 though, it's a lot of real audience, and they were really into these 2 episodes or this batch basically.
Yeah, they were.
But Joe Lewis.
Yeah.
Gonna do that.
Yeah, Joe Lewis.
So near and yet so close. And then Squiggy, of course, saying, "It's like, come on, we can talk this out." What do they say that? Who says that Joe Lewis has got to be black?
Yeah, let's go original with it. Let's go original with the concept. I casted the Joe Lewis part, but you're not really right for it.
God.
Then Secretary Julie and the boxer guy start making plans, and she just pretty much sweeps him up.
Yeah, basically.
He's kind of punch drunk. She's taking him home, though.
Did I get the part? No, but you get the secretary. Oh.
Yeah. Rhonda and Carmine's little talk here is really sweet.
It is.
Because they're both kind of simultaneously brokenhearted about the same thing. It's really nice, and they find, Carmine's the one who gets to do the chin up speechifying here.
Yep, it's been a while.
He hasn't done that in a while, and also he does that again. He does a lot in season 7. But he is really good at being a shoulder for her, and vice versa. They're really nice here. That friendship is forged in iron at this point. It's really sweet.
And then, of course,
Laverne comes
and then
the wrong time.
And oh no, not again, and freeze frame. That was good.
Yep. Right in his face. I love that apparently Laverne's punch did the most damage, is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so she refuses to give up her steak for him for a while until, finally she does agree to give up the steak for him. But it takes some doing. And then we get the reversal of them, talking nicely, and it looks like she gives him a little kiss on the cheek, and Shirley sees it.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that ultimate end line that he got hit by his destiny.
Yeah, what was that? My destiny.
Yeah. Now, you can take that multiple ways if you want to think about it.
Yeah, and again, why are they not married yet?
Yeah. It can be taken in multiple ways. Either Shirley is his destiny, either it's his destiny to constantly get slapped in the face after trying. It's either really depressing or really sweet, depending on how you want to do it. But he did look pretty dreamy after she did that.
Either that or he's got a peanut allergy to that nutty buddy they put on his face.
Possibly. I wonder if the girls get their nutty buddies and all that stuff down from Lenny and Squiggy.
Oh, I'm sure. Possibly. Totally. So, anywho, but so that kind of covers the full synopsis and covering of the episode. This was a lot of fun. I wish I could look past some of the little kind of, because there's some of the jokes that they're funny, but they don't land really strong for me. Like the fake audience that Lenny grabs off the street is it's good, but it just doesn't. I think because there's not enough callbacks to it and there's no payoff, it doesn't work quite as well. Yeah. I wish it was a bit stronger. So, but as we've said, though, I mean, this was a really solid piece of work. There was a lot of really good writing in this. And it's interesting that the credited writer for this episode is Albert Goodman. And IMDb credits him only for this one episode, but apparently he had a rather diverse career from books, songs, stand-up comedy, and screenplays. He passed away in 2016, and according to his obituary, he had worked at 20th Century Fox around the same time. He basically is one of those people that maybe didn't get the sort of household name success, but I mean, he was a working guy. And you kind of get that out of this project, or out of this script, I should say, is that there's a lot of aspects of this, and both the humor and such, which is you take the thing and you sort of wind it up and you just try to keep hammering, chiseling away to make it better and better. But in any case, it is interesting. The last thing to say about Albert Goodman before we move on, though, is, he passed away, unfortunately, from ALS, from the sounds of the obituary. Leave it with this very good quote that is that they have from him. that he found himself thankful the new digital world affords everyone an opportunity to find an audience for their truths, whether their work be mainstream or marginal, mediocre or magnificent, or all of the above at any given moment. And he is delighted he has lived long enough to contribute to the melange.
That's beautiful. That's truly beautiful. Toast to him.
Yeah. So, yeah. But it was good. There's a lot of heart in this episode with the funny. There's a lot of funny to come out of the heart too, and it's a very earnest episode with some really good performances and some good staging. So yeah, for me, it was a winner. What are we ranking this one?
This is a solid, probably solid 8, an 8 to 9. This is a fun little episode. Really great dialogue, really fun plot, very moving. Some great relationship stuff, some great friendship stuff. There really isn't very much holding it back from Tippy Top. I mean, what is holding it back from Tippy Top? Oh, I think I'm going to go with a 9 for it. It's really good. It's really a lot of fun. Watch this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the 8. But that being said, this is one of the must-see episodes I think of season 7.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Cool. All right. Does that cover everything for today?
I think it does.
All right. Well, cool. We'll come back from a quick word from our sponsor, and then we shall see you back here with a little bit of a post-amble and, look at what's coming up next for Night After Night. Stay tuned, folks. Wait for the bell. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, so much for joining us for Night After Night. And if you would like to know more, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter at Night After Night PC or Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, Patreon, or YouTube, or wherever you may find some pretty rad-tacular podcasts. So, jeepers creepers, I'm trying to figure out what's next up here. There seems to be something in the stars, Lisa. What's going on next?
Laverne and Shirley do the dirty work for a sleazy tabloid publisher in the name of revenge after a Bobby Darin-like singer is rude to them during a visit to Bardwell's. This is Star Peepers.
Oh, Star Peepers. The for some reason that makes you think it's like the Bob Clark ripoff of Star Wars.
Oh God, the Star Babes is the other one. Star Crasher.
No. Star Crash was.
No, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about Star Crash. Star Crash was Luigi Cozzi. I'm thinking of Bob Clark.
Yes. Okay.
I'm making a Porky's joke.
Oh, God. Why that not lands in my head?
Because you've successfully scrubbed it from your brain, honey. That's a good thing.
It's been years since I've watched Porky's. I watched it as a kid, of all things.
Yeah.
I really did. Oh, there was one. I love that movie as a kid, and I don't know why. Cable television, why? You ruined my brain.
All right, but yeah, so okay.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so join us next time for Star Peepers, the Bob Clark remake of Star Wars. Wait, no, actually, no, it's not. But yes, we'll hopefully you'll peep us on this on the next podcast next week. Thanks, everybody.
And remember, y'all, if you have someone who gets punched in the face in your life, be sure to offer them high-quality meats. Unless you're vegan, then maybe at least offer them an Impossible Burger or something awesome like that. Don't let your friends suffer. Bye, y'all.